topic, we're going to talk about gang banging. I don't mean women, I mean gangsters banging. I really don't think banging is permittable today. You should gang bang. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices.
Look, today's slightly different from the 80s. Separated from greatness, killing up all the babies. Sickening and so degrading, cripping and blooding daily. Never gonna let this fade me. Your bullets done hitting graze me. Still standing, amazing, suffering complications and contemplating, debating time for retaliation. You new to this banging, you're quick to join in the game when you don't even know the half about what set you be claiming. All these new fools, new crews, bloody blue shoes, so woo. Hang yourself with a loose noose, no truce. You the fool if you don't hear when it's real. You plan to deal with your life, one day you bound to get killed. I done walked through the hood, seen a lot of blood spill. Mama's crying, babies dying, getting served in the field. Don't regret the way I feel about today in the gang. Don't make no sense for you to drive up in this death lane. My nigga.
Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices.
Gang gang, everybody got something to say, bro. Brothers in the streets getting stretched out like Play-Doh. Wear the right colors or better watch what you say, bro. Or get your face peeled off by a barrel of that Draco. Take no prisoners in this lane, there's prisoners in this gang. A sick thing, but some of y'all wouldn't understand the gang lane has changed. Now everybody banging, online with that bullish and the fake sense you claiming. Fugazi, hit them streets and catch your fade, G. Pull licks, get more hits than the internet do daily. Sadie up in these streets without that social media shame. Many that I get claimed got shot from another gang. Blessing that I remain, so real that I can't complain. I'm able to spit this game, yeah, Yogi gon' keep it sane. And keep away from the flame and mentally train the brain. And whatever else that I can claim, I'm changing the game. Woo.
Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices.
Listen, here's a little gesture. Stand up for yourself when you're feeling a lot of pressure. That's to go address ya. Actually, what's that you claim? Colors that you be wearing and sagging it like a bang. That ain't gon' get you nowhere. Homie, don't even go there. Hit me up on my hip and stop acting as if I don't care. You know where I've been up in it and out of it for a minute. And it ain't never gon' finish until we all get diminished. Tell me really who's with it. And it ain't never gon' stop. With the killing your brothers and getting shot by the cops. Now look at the situation becoming an occupation that's spreading across the nation. System really is tainted. Stay related with the ones that done been there before. Get some pointers, learn some lessons about the do's and don'ts. It's better to be square, no negative over there. Let's politic with each other and put one up in the air. Let's go.
Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices.
Unmute. Unmute yourself, Archbishop. We can't hear it. Now we'll be able to hear it.
This
We
morning,
weren't able to hear it at all.
is banning Biden's border agents from Shelby Park, where I'm standing. And this showdown is happening in the city of Eagle Pass. I caught up with the Democratic mayor and a Democratic councilwoman who say their own town has been overrun by illegal immigration for years. And they both have joined a chorus of leaders down in this region who say they feel abandoned by the Biden administration and are urging both sides to work together to find a solution.
Because yes, we need to stop it from happening the way it's happening. It's not humanly right, but at the same time, they're on their right to defend and stop it somehow. Because I mean, come on, 8 million people crossing in the last 3 years. I mean, 3 years. It's just getting out of hand. We're having our checkpoints closed. I don't know. I mean, for God's sake, I don't know how many people already passed.
I don't want people here coming illegally. I'm all for legal migration. I don't support people coming in and crossing the river and staying here in the United States. I think those people should be sent back immediately because it's not fair for the people that do it the right way.
Now, Texas's fortification of this illegal crossing hotspot appears to be working for now. We have noticed with our own eyes a major plummet in large groups here. And now the mayor and the Texas National Guard tell me the number of crossings has dropped from that high of up to 4,000 last month a day down to about a few hundred a day this month. Now, typically colder months that we are in, we do see a slowdown. So the coming months, as it warms up, will likely reveal whether Texas's razor wire barrier is keeping the large groups away. But then, of course, it becomes the question of whack-a-mole. If the migrants are not crossing here, are they going to be heading to places like New Mexico and California? Dana.
All right, Matt Finn, thank you.
Interesting. All this barbed wire, huh?
Yeah, that's something, right?
Must be an ad on that.
And the Democratic mayor of Eagle Pass,
it was.
Texas.
It sure was. I called it. Yep.
This is Governor Greg Abbott holds the line at
See.
Shelby Park, where
There
the
you go.
Biden administration wants to cut through.
Here we go.
There you go. Kill the source.
Yeah, we thought that was already gone. All right, what's up, everybody? What's going on?
What's going down with everybody? Let's get it.
Right. So we got another week. Another week that went by, and we back on the Diamond Effect. So
That's right.
what's up, Mike? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. It's been an extremely busy day. And I, just before getting on the show, received my package in the mail. Pause. This, and I got something here to unbox real quick. I just want to show you guys something that's pretty dope that I thought you guys may not care. I'm telling you, I think it's awesome. Okay, so check it out.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
That's insane.
Yeah, that is
Yes,
pretty.
sir. So, yes, my day got a lot better. Shout out to Miss Lotus for that, man. That is the person that does our stuff out here. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. There she is.
No doubt. So we're gonna dive into this. I don't know how much did you get to catch any of this over the past couple of days? Because it's been kind of crazy.
It's been crazy, but I haven't been able to keep up. I kept up with something that came out like 8 hours ago, but that's not like something that's been happening in the last, I guess, couple of days.
Okay. So let me kind of fill you in on what's going on. Hence the first video. So right now what you have is Texas and the federal government basically playing a pissing match with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on is that Texas, the state of Texas is interfering with the border security across the U.S.-Mexico border. That it started back in January, where the Texas authorities blocked the Border Patrol agents from accessing like a 2.5 mile stretch known as Eagle Pass. So that's where a lot of the migrants were crossing over the Rio Grande.
Mm.
The state of Texas put razor wire and semi trailers backed them up against each other, and then put the razor wire. Um, so the federal government challenged what they were doing, and it ended up going up to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court agreed with the federal government and told the Texas governor, Governor Abbott, that he had to cut down that wire, and he refused. So they said they were going to send federal agents there to cut it down. And he said, well, you can bring them, but when they cut them, I'm going to put some more up. Okay. Then they had the actual officials in Texas, police officials, that were actually, that was actually blocking federal agents from cutting down this barbed wire. So,
Oh man.
and the Biden administration jumps in and says to Texas, well, Governor Abbott, you're gonna cut the foolishness. You're gonna cut down that wire, or else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The reply back was, or else what? So basically, you got the governor basically done told the Biden administration, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Come make, come make me. So, had several things that done happened through them because they done, because the Biden administration turned around and they cut the natural gas lines for Texas. I'm like, okay, well, all right, since you want to play, we're gonna, you know what I mean? So now you playing this pissing match back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of that, then you have the truckers that got involved. And they supposedly started in Virginia. I got some video on some of it, but they have started in Virginia, and they basically making a track down through to Jacksonville and over to Texas, meeting up in Texas, and then they're going to branch off and go to the Arizona line as well, Arizona and New Mexico, to basically put their trucks, side by side going down the border to basically try to keep people out.
Right. Wow. Pretty
Now,
extreme.
yeah, that's crazy. But it's a lot to this, as you're going to see as we're moving on through this. It's some stuff as you go through, you kind of agree with. Some stuff on there you was like, man, that's just crazy. You know what I mean? I can't really vouch for that. So let me see what I got here. Let me play this one here and see what we got. This is one basically talking about the migrant march up to the southern border. So you can see, kind of get a picture as to what are you really looking at.
Right. How extreme.
Right. I mean, because you got to remember, these aren't, it's not just 5, 10, 100 people. It's a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's thousands of people. So I'm going to run this by you right quick.
Yeah, it's wild.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about that, but I want to show you this one first.
Okay.
So that's at the southern border. Now let me show you what's going on in Denver, Colorado. Let me show you this one.
Today, a clear illustration of the swelling numbers of migrants at the U.S. southern border. An estimated 8,000 men, women, and children slowly moving north through Mexico in the largest caravan in more than a year. It comes as the U.S. Secretaries of State and Homeland Security are in Mexico meeting with the Mexican president. The leaders looking for solutions to what the State Department calls unprecedented irregular migration in the Western Hemisphere.
What Secretaries Blinken and Mayorkas are going to be pushing for is enforcement, enforcement, enforcement.
As lawmakers on Capitol Hill struggle to make a deal on tightening immigration policy and boosting border security, the Biden administration is hoping Mexico can do more to beef up its southern border. The migrants in that new caravan are starting from southern Mexico after making the trip from Central America, Venezuela, Cuba, and other countries, fleeing harsh conditions and seeking asylum in the U.S. Congressional Republicans are pushing for restrictions on asylum claims as Customs and Border Protection has been overwhelmed with a surge in migrants. Crossings are down from record highs last week when more than 12,000 migrants a day were crossing the border illegally.
We're being overrun. President Biden has abandoned the Border Patrol.
A potent political problem for President Biden heading into a re-election year and a humanitarian crisis for thousands at the border. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
That's rough.
Okay, so
That's
tell me
rough.
what you see there. Tell me what. Give me your input on that. Tell me what you got.
Well, I got that there was a freak ton of migrants that were all the way up in Colorado that were doing I don't know if it's necessarily a whole like push necessarily or a demonstration. I'm not really sure what that really was. I took away that they went from the south to the north. That's what I got.
Right. Well, what they're doing is here's the gist of it. So they opened up the borders back earlier in 23. I think this was maybe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like October. So they opened it up, and then you had this mass influx of migrants that came through. Now, the problem was that you had so many that came through.
Couldn't regulate it.
Right. So you couldn't properly vet them and process them the way you were supposed to. So they kind of, just got a name or whatever, gave a piece of paper like, hey, show back up at this time, whatever, and let them go. Okay. So all of the little border cities was ran over. You know what I mean? All these people, where are they going to go? So, you got the shelters and everything else is packed to capacity. You got people sleeping out on the streets.
I saw that. People sleeping on the streets and shit. That's crazy.
Right. So you basically done turned one of these little border towns into like the ghetto.
Totally.
Okay, so now they started busing people out. Okay. So when they busting the people out, they sending them to all these major cities. They send them to Denver, Chicago, New York, New Jersey, Boston, North Carolina. There's a list. There's another video here. I'm gonna play with the list of where they sending these. I mean, like they sending them everywhere. But here's the problem: you sending them there, and they're doing the same thing.
Right.
You don't
Same
have to work
problem.
on it either. You know what I mean?
So now it's not down here. Now it's everywhere in the
right.
state.
Right. So you just expanded the problem. Is what you did. So
you tried to spread it. Try to spread it. But you spread yourself thin there.
Exactly. They figuring like, okay, well, we can get them out these little small towns here. We can take them up here and just kind of spread them out.
Get rid of them.
Right. But you're not doing that because all the shelters and stuff is full.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually housing people in the police stations in Chicago.
I heard that too. Yep.
They were, they outside around hotels, all the other stuff. They just basically everywhere you want to be at.
Surrounded.
Right. But now you taking all these people that's from down south, Mexico, Venezuela, Ecuador, whatever. You're bringing them up north in the wintertime. So it's cold
shit.
there. You wearing sandals and flip flops down south. It's 6 degrees up north.
Right.
Big
We're-
difference.
Guys
what
like
I mean?
me down here in Southern California forget that the rest of the country has that problem.
Right. So then I seen a report earlier a couple days ago where they had they was interviewing a few of the migrants and whatnot, and they were complaining because it was so cold that, they didn't have nowhere to go and it was so cold. So in the interview they was having with somebody else, they was, basically said, well, okay, well, you kind of knew where you was going. You knew it was wintertime. You know what I mean? You knew you didn't have nowhere to go. Why'd you go? Why'd you even go there? You know what I mean? Now, I think another one of the problems is, they're trying to close it off because you have 8 million people that has crossed the border.
Yeah, already.
Right. What are you doing with all of these people?
It's a lot of people.
Right. Where are they going to go? You know what I mean? Now, then you have the ones that, like they hit you with the scare tactics and all that stuff. And we're going to get into that later. But, the first part is that what are you going to do with these people? Now, mind you trying to find somewhere for these 8 million people to go, but you ain't found nothing for the 850,000 homeless people that we already had.
Right. That part. Yes, exactly.
So you got these ones over here that's been homeless, that's been running around, going in these shelters and all that stuff. Now you can just influx it with another 8 million.
Yep. Good
You know what I
luck.
mean? Now what you gonna do? You know what I mean? You ain't taking care of the ones that's already out there in the street. So what are you gonna do with these? You know what I mean? Kind of like you take care of home first,
right?
Before
Supposed
you deal
to.
with problems.
Definitely
So-
supposed to.
Right. So that's the that's one of the bigger ones. But let me hit you with this one right quick.
Let's do it.
Then let's see. Actually, I'm gonna hit you with two. I'm gonna play this one first, and then I'm gonna play this other one.
Back to
okay?
back.
And then we'll go back and talk about these two.
Every single person in America should at least be aware of this, because America is very close to a second civil war right now. All of this started at the Texas border. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas was putting up razor wire at the border, and the Biden administration is opposed to this razor wire, so the Biden administration sent people to go and take this razor wire down. Now, this decision to take down the razor wire has inflamed 25 other states, who not only feel that Biden is not doing enough to stop illegal immigration, but the governors of these states stand in solidarity with Texas in utilizing every tool and strategy to secure the border. As of right now, states like Virginia are sending soldiers and airmen to Texas to go and help secure the state's border. Other states are also being encouraged to send support to Texas. There are also many people currently calling for the secession of Texas from the U.S., and others are just straight up calling for a civil war over this whole border situation. And as of right now, it seems like the situation at the border is so tense that just one wrong move from either side could end up being the spark that causes that civil war.
We'll find it in a second, y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna wait. I'm gonna wait before I play that other
Okay.
one. So this one here said some other stuff that we hadn't talked about yet.
Mm.
And that was the fact that you got 25 states that's in agreement with Texas, right? And then you have these 25, let's go how they said it. 25 Republican states is what they said. I don't care either way, but I'm just saying that's what they said, 25 Republican states. Now you had a couple days ago, you had Trump that did an interview, and he said that you need to have these 25 states send their National Guard to Texas to help Texas, with what they got going on. But here's the problem, though. Texas's problem is between the governor and the Biden administration,
Right.
to where they basically gave you an order and you not following that order.
Chain of command, basically.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Um,
we have the, to break it down, there's two different, to break it down into layman's terms, like sixth grade here or third grade, whatever. You've got the federal government, and then you got the state government, and yeah, I mean, there's good things about the state having their own laws, but at the same token, there are certain issues that fall under the federal government, and one thing that does fall under the federal government is immigration or migration, all of it.
Right.
So when it comes to them making an order, it doesn't matter, it's an order. It's not law. It is their law. It is that's the law that they're using. They're actually using the Constitution.
Yeah, correct. Now my issue with that though is that if you bringing National Guard troops from these other states. Now I didn't say that that's what they done. I said this is
What they were
was going
claiming.
on.
Right.
I don't want nobody to come back and say, well, Bishop said that they sent the. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it was brought up that that's what they
Right.
should do. Now, the actual problem, like I said, is between Governor Abbott and the Biden administration. They're going back and forth. So, and you basically telling the federal government what you're not going to do, which is kind of unheard of, for real.
Well, the last time I think we did, I mean, do I really got to bring us back to the last time that we really had a pissing match with the federal government and the states? What happened? That the last time that was a civil war.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back. So just stuff like that, it just goes to show, man, you guys got to be careful here.
Right. But then, like I said, you got to mind your words carefully on that too, because they're talking about like, okay, you got people out there telling people that it's a good idea for you to send troops from your state down there. Isn't that kind of like the same thing with the insurrection back on January 6th? Ain't that kind of the same thing? You got people going against the federal government. Ain't that kind of the same thing? Like I said, not putting that out there. I'm just saying. A lot of this shit don't make sense. You know what I mean? It seems like it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Facts.
Because you got both of them that's not going to
budge.
They're not going to bend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you got them saying, okay, this is federal government. We saying do this or else. This one here, he wanna go against the federal government. Okay, so we already know that this is what it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. And yeah, you're right. Governors do have a lot of power, but not when you're dealing with the federal government. Though.
Yeah, not in chain of command. Not with the feds.
No, not when you're dealing with it. So now, here's another thing that you have to worry about. Now, between January 1st and right now, Border Patrol has already captured 50 people that was on the terrorist watch list. So you think if you caught 50, you know that it's way more that you didn't catch that got
right.
Okay?
Facts.
Now, they had one particular one in mind that I'm thinking about here. That the other day, there was a reporter doing an interview on some migrants that they seen out there, and they were interviewing them or whatnot. And this guy was talking, and then finally he said, "You guys are some idiots because you don't even realize who you're even talking to right now. But I guarantee you'll know my name later." And walked away. Well, the reporter, not thinking much of it, just thinking that the guy just talking shit, and was like, "Oh, look at him. He's entitled, isn't he?" Kind of laughed it off. Well, they did a facial recognition and come to find out this is somebody they actually been looking for. That
snap.
That now is on U.S. soil, and they don't know where the fuck he's at.
Wow. They got face recognition identity of this dude.
Yeah.
Know who he is now, but he's
they don't know where the fuck he's at. Now,
ghosted.
Right. They don't know where the fuck he's at. So let me show you this.
So who remember when we said watch the border because sleeper cells and terrorists could be coming through the border? Listen to this man.
But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But
Interesting.
soon you're gonna know who I am. Very
Soon we're gonna know who he is.
The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys. Wow.
My guy, I believe you. This was the man that we just watched. Then you remember the part where he said if we were smart enough, we would know who he is, right? This is what he's on the CIA website for. Conspiracy of terrorism treason. And see, y'all didn't want to believe us at first when we kept saying that it's sleeper cells that's coming up through this border. And we already having micro terrorist attacks. Yeah, like some explosives that was barreled towards this rock concert. Yeah, all these people that's coming up through this border that's unidentified. And that just makes you think, if he came over here dropping this nuts like that, who else is already over here? And once again, how will we know this man's name? Let me know what y'all think about this well-known terrorist coming up through the border and saying that we gonna know his name very soon. Yeah, let me know y'all thoughts on that in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube if y'all want that exclusive content and hit that business email if y'all trying to do business.
Crazy, right?
I'm not even surprised anymore.
Right. Well, you know, if you caught so many, I mean, but you know that this is what's going to happen. Now, there was something else that I found out too, which is really fucking interesting. Now, you notice the one first video I showed you with the migrants.
Yeah.
You see that it was a lot of Spanish,
Absolutely,
a lot of Mexicans, you know, the whole thing. That's what they've been trying to push off the whole time. Now, that particular rush right there, that was the first rush that came through. Now, the people that's coming through now are not Mexicans. They're not Central Americans. They're not even Latin Americans at all.
Let me guess at this point. I don't even know, but are they like Chinese or something?
Let me tell you, you have a 900% increase of Chinese nationals that's coming.
I just called it. I can't even
Stop the cap.
I wasn't joking.
Not only
And I
do
didn't
you
know.
have- Not only do you have them, you have Russians, you have people from Afghanistan, and a shitload of Africans, a shitload of them from Somalia, all of that. But here's where it gets funny. You do not see a whole bunch of women. You do not see old people. These people here are between the ages of 20 and about 30, 35. That's it. You know what I mean? Actually, people who could have actually been in the military if need be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you didn't, all the ones that they've been showing now, all dudes, all younger dudes.
That's
Okay?
a problem. That's a problem.
Right.
Trust me,
And
guys.
they-
If it's not families coming, there's a reason for this.
Right. And they had a lot of them lined up and was asking them, where you from and where you going? All the ones that was from like Africa, Somalia, all them, they all said they were going to New York, New Jersey. The Chinese and the Russians were going to Chicago, Boston. That's what they all kept saying. Okay.
Like
all
organized.
All of them shooting north. All of them shooting north. Okay. So here's the question. No. Let me say this before I do that. There was two Chinese gentlemen that they did an interview with that told their little track to the United States. They flew from China to Ecuador. Went from Ecuador to Panama, got on a boat, came across, and then tracked up through Mexico until they got to the southern border.
Because that's way easier for them.
Right.
That's crazy.
Then they asked him, okay, so why did you do that? Oh, well, we don't like what's going on in China. Okay, so you did all that. You went from China to Ecuador and did this whole track all the way up because you didn't like what was going on in China. Why you not get a visa?
Right.
Why you not get a visa and just come to the U.S.?
Mhm.
Why you do all that? You did all this extra because you know you can't get no visa. You know you're not going to be allowed to come into the U.S. So you sneaking your ass in on the back end.
Right. They see an open spot. They see an open spot within literally a border, and they're going straight to it. They see an
Exactly.
open
Exactly.
window.
Exactly. But
Opportunist.
when you're here watching these different these different newscasts or whatever, only thing they showing is Mexicans. But when you watch the other ones, when you pay attention to, they talking about the migrants and they showing the migrants, you don't see no Mexicans.
Oh man.
You see everybody else. You see the Chinese, you see these Africans, you see the Russians, you don't see Mexicans. You don't see nobody's face at all. Other than you have somebody that's like an interpreter with a megaphone or something that's talking in Spanish to anybody that may be there in Spanish, but you don't see them. All you see are these other ones. You know what I mean? So the question is, where's all the Mexicans at?
Right.
You know what I mean? And why are you having this influx of all these people, but you're not having the influence of women, old people? These are all young men between the ages of 20 and 35.
Yeah, doing that trek with a family, trust me, there's a big ass reason why you're doing that. You're trying to evade, like, you think everyone's gonna die type of situation. If you are coming alone or with a friend or something like that, walking, dude, like, there's a problem. There's a problem. You flew all the way from China, all the way to Ecuador because you knew that that was your window of opportunity. That's crazy.
Right.
And then to trek all the way through that, pay all these people along the way to bring you up or whatever. That's insane to me. Because I didn't like China.
Now you have the FBI director that did a Senate majority hearing here a couple weeks ago that told them that there are so many red flags right now that they know for a fact that there are actual sleeper cells in the U.S. right now. They know for a fact. Now, and they said that it was due to this mass influx of people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because when you got these people coming through there, how do you know that what they telling you their name is that's who they are?
Right.
You have no idea.
They could print
You know what I
out
mean?
a piece of paper themselves too, you know?
Right. But wouldn't it seem suspect though when you start seeing Chinese people coming out of Mexico?
That's a little
Or you start
suspect.
seeing Africans coming out of Mexico?
Maybe
or
one or
Russians
two
coming out of Mexico?
One or two at a time. All right, you were a citizen,
Right.
you know? But
Right.
damn.
You got Iraq, Arabs coming out of Mexico. You look like, hold the
there's
fuck
something
up.
wrong.
You know what I mean? Hold the fuck up. Now, granted, I may not be profiling.
No, but you're
damn,
using logic.
You know what I mean? That right there would kind of throw up a red flag if you would, you know what I mean? If you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely, it does.
You know, but let me show you this. I'm gonna show you this one video here. This is one when they was talking about the 50 people that they've caught on the terrorist watch list. This one here is kind of interesting.
Illegal border crossings hitting another all-time high, surpassing 300,000 in December alone. Now, former FBI officials are sounding the alarm on a new national security threat, as 50 on the terror watch list were already caught this fiscal year. In a letter to Congress, those officials warning, quote, the United States is facing a new and imminent danger, adding in its modern history, the U.S. has never suffered an invasion of the homeland, and yet one is unfolding now. Here to react, National Border Patrol President Brandon Judd. Brandon, great to see you. I got to tell you, when I saw this letter, I was shocked, not at the acknowledgement, not at the reality, but at the acknowledgement of the reality. I know the numbers of the terrorist watch list. I know what's going on. But I guess I was surprised that former FBI officials would be willing to put this out like this, because it was more than a warning. I felt like it was an indictment of this administration.
Yeah, it's not an if, it's a when. We know something bad is going to happen, and you have to look at the reason why. When you look at the number of people that we apprehended, 302,000 people, that means we released a minimum of 280,000 of those individuals. We only held into custody about 20,000 for repatriation. So when you look at that, when you look at the sheer mass crush of people that are crossing our borders illegally, what that means is we just don't have agents in the field to patrol the border. That's when the cartels can cross our higher value products, including people from countries that want to do us harm. Everybody wants to characterize this as a race issue. They want to say, well, this is just poor brown people coming from Mexico or Central America. And that's just not true. We apprehend people from Eastern Europe all the time. We apprehend people that are whiter than I am all the time. We apprehend people from the Middle East. We apprehend people from around the world. This is not a race issue. It's all about the protection of the American people. And until we wake up and realize that, we're going to continue to deal with this, and what's going to happen is going to be bigger than what it needs to be. We've got to get this under control today, and we can do it if this administration would simply give us the policies that are necessary.
To your point, Brandon, I think people still have this conception in their head that illegal immigration is the guy that wants to come over here and does low-skilled, low-labor jobs and is striving for a better life. And that may be a percentage of the people coming over here. But I put this FBI letter out, for example, on my social media, and somebody said, oh, yeah, all these Mexican guys that want to come over here and bomb things. I don't think people understand the extent of people coming from places like you just described, who come at a minimum from countries with where there's an ideology of ill intention, but at a maximum are on the literal terror watch list.
Yeah, and the reason is because the woke media refuses to give an honest confrontation to the American people. So if you watch CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all of those, CBS, if you watch those news outlets, they're constantly covering for this administration. They will not tell the American people exactly what's going on. If we had that honest conversation, if people understood what was going on, they would be up in arms. They would be extremely frustrated. But what's great about it is all of these images that you're showing, every single time something happens here in the United States, people have to wake up. And what's really funny about that is Eric Adams has unwittingly become the face of border security, because every single time he talks, this powerful Democrat, every single time he opens his mouth, then the mainstream media has to cover it, and then people tune into Fox News. Thank goodness. And that's why President Biden's poll numbers are so low on illegal immigration. But it's only recently that those numbers have dropped to lows that we've never thought that would have ever happened.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, thanks for being with us. Hopefully we can break through that false narrative about the problem that exists. Always great to see you. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian.
Okay, so let me say this first. That end part, see, you see that he tried to throw his little shit in there about, thank God he got it from Fox. You know what I mean? I don't even like Fox News.
No. I'm a guy that will watch both sides. I don't like when personal narratives get involved. That's why I try my best to not even put out my personal narrative on even these topics. I try to stick to the facts and just report it.
Exactly. So, that's the thing. There's a couple clips that I pulled up that was from Fox News.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I watch, so you gotta, because when you think about it like this, I watch MSNBC, I get their end. I watch Fox, I get their end. And it's kind of like you got their truth, and the actual truth. So if I watch both,
you got
and I hear the same thing over here, then I can kind of figure out what the truth is in between that. Because as you say, they're two wings of the same bird. It's all about, it's my story and your story. But you still got the same shit in there somewhere along the way.
Well, they teach you this in high school, basically, that like within government, especially politics, if you want to debate, let's say as a Republican to a Democrat, you need to be able to switch your role and debate as a Democrat to a Republican. And that's actually something that is proof right there that you need to be watching both sides to understand the full story, because a debate can win off of one person just dancing around facts a certain way or whatever. There's all sorts of tactics, but it's very interesting that it's always both sides of the story. So I find it funny when people say, "Oh, you're watching CNN, blah blah blah," or "You're watching Fox, you're watching this." Yeah, I'm checking it all out, all outlets. I'm going to get all my media, and then I will collect my thoughts based off of all of what I've watched, not just off of one clip, not off of one thing. And that's why these shows actually exist, is because Archbishop does a freak ton of investigating into all this, and then I check out, kind of as a guy, like just who I am and what I know, and the little bit of investigation that I'm able to pull, and also the stuff that I have found out. I like to be able to bring to light onto shows like this. So yeah, absolutely, we're going to be watching both sides.
Now, this is something that a lot of people probably haven't even thought about now, because everybody is sitting here looking at this pissing match, going back and forth, right? And then you're trying to get these other governors involved and all that stuff to go against the federal government. Do you not realize that's fucking treason?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not realize that? You know what I mean? Going against the federal government for any fucking thing is treason.
No, if
You
me
know
and
what I
you
mean?
did any type of thing like that, yeah, it's treason. Absolutely.
Right. So you sitting here, it's kind of like you like walking this fine line. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm gonna talk shit, but I ain't gonna talk too much shit. I'm gonna talk just enough shit to get my message across, but not enough shit where they come and put cuffs on my ass and charge me for treason. You know what I mean? So you trying to stay within, that fine line there. Okay. So now we're talking about the terrorists on the watch list. Okay, so that they found 50. So probably out of that 50 that they found, it's probably about 100, 150 that they didn't fucking find, because they don't know who the fuck these people are anyway. They were just trying to hurry up and put a name on them and give them a thing and ship them the fuck out of here, which is kind of baffling to me as to how they were able to come through so many at a time, but you don't have the adequate help or manpower.
Right, the manpower, the capability.
This mass number of people like that. You just basically just let them come in, and they just took off like fucking roaches and shit.
Yep.
And they ran, you know what I mean? And you don't know where half of them's at. Don't make sense. Now, I'm gonna tell you what my biggest issue is. A couple weeks ago, we did a show, and I know you probably remember what I'm talking about when I brought up the fact that you had between 500,000 and 850,000 homeless veterans.
Yeah, you did.
The U.S. Okay, and for someone who is a veteran, it's hard to swallow the thought that these people who served and protected our country, that's fought in wars, you are homeless now on the street and you have nothing. I brought this up for a reason, because you got these migrants here. You brought in 8 million migrants, right? Did you know that the migrants now can come in and they can get $9,000 a month in vouchers for food, housing, healthcare, childcare, all that shit?
No way. Not for real, for real.
How is it that you can get 9,000 a fucking month and you ain't even a citizen in this fucking country, but you got 800,000 fucking veterans that can't get shit? You got people right now that can't get assistance because they make too much money, but they don't have food in their house right now.
Right. Yep.
That work every day.
They need to adjust that new high bracket. They need to adjust that, because they haven't adjusted it since the 18th century.
Yeah, they work every day to make a living. They live in paycheck to paycheck. Half of them don't have, a lot of people don't have food in their house. You know what I mean? you go and try to get you a little EBT or a little help. They say, "Oh, can't give it to you. You make too much money." Well, I only make $12 an hour. Well, that's too much. You know what I mean? Because they actually raised the level of the poverty. They rose everything up
They literally
$1,000.
raise it.
Yeah. So they rose that up this year. So, like when you do your taxes and all that stuff coming up, just know that they rose that up. Now, you got all these people at home that's your actual citizens that need your help. But you get this money and you give it to everybody else but the ones that you're supposed to. And then you sit there and you say, okay, well, we need your vote. We need you to vote for me. I need you to vote for me. But here's the thing. That 9,000 came from this $106 billion funding bill that was passed by the House and the Senate. Who's in the House and the Senate? The Republicans and the fucking Democrats. Both of you. Both of you passed that bill. Both of you passed that bill. So you're giving the migrants $9,000 a month in vouchers for food, childcare, housing, all that. Y'all agreed to that shit. Now you sitting here and you say, oh, it's Biden's fault. No, it's not Biden's fault. It's your goddamn fault too. Because you voted on this. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame him when everything goes to shit. When you was both doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sound good. But they did the same thing to Trump. When shit went bad, they blame him. Even though it may not have been his fault. He did the same thing to Obama. He did the same thing to Clinton. You know what I mean? Which, people may not have liked Clinton for whatever reason, but Clinton was the only president that when he left office, that the U.S. had zero debt. That actually we had a surplus that people owed us when he left office. He was the only president that left us with no debt.
No
Everybody else left you in debt. You know what I mean? But did he take a whole lot of shit while he was the president? Goddamn right. All of them did, because they feel like that, okay, it's the commander in chief that did all this.
Yeah.
It's not just him. You know what I mean? Because he can only do what Congress allows him to do. Now he can make executive orders, but everything else comes from these people over here. These same ones that's on TV right now blaming him. It's the same ones who did this vote to get this money.
Right. And that part doesn't make sense. That's the part that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Is you're both voting for it, but now that you don't like the way it came out, now it's throw it up and go. It's easier to point fingers than it is to point thumbs. You know what I mean?
Right. Now you have city officials right now, like city officials in Chicago, that's bitching like, okay, why y'all giving these people this money? So I got a video on it. Let me show you.
Now, I've said this before. If you give me 3 meals, housing, child care, education, a voucher for $9,000, you know what? I come to Chicago too. And that's what they're doing. They're telling people, and they're sending money back to back to Venezuela, to come to Chicago because they're saying, hey, the good times are rolling there. They're taking care of everybody. Now, when we have Venezuelans that are driving cars, where did they get a driver's license? Where did they get insurance from? And then you have Venezuelans being caught with drugs and guns. Where are they getting them from?
Rough.
Now you see, so you getting the voucher to run around. You know what I mean? Now, if you're gonna give it to the ones who you just let over the board, why are you not giving this to to your actual people that actually? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't you think if you gave these veterans $9,000 a month, you think they still be in the street?
Right.
None. you ain't got to give them 9. You know what I mean? Chop out in half. Give them 3.
Right. Right.
Do you
Be
think
realistic.
it's 3? Fuck no. You know what I mean? Give that mother that's sitting here with 3 kids and working and making $12 an hour. You know what I mean? Give her $3,000.
Right.
I mean, are you gonna hear anything from her after then? No. You know what I mean? And this is the biggest thing that we always had going on. We always took care of everybody else, but never took care of your own people. And your
But
own
now,
people.
by taking care of other people, led to more homelessness.
Right. Right. And then you wonder why your own people are selfish.
Right.
Why your own people have lack of empathy. And then you wonder why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you see how that cycle kind of runs into each other?
Yep. And it will continue that way.
Right. Right. So
Damn it.
you know, just like the guy said, you can get housing get food, you get childcare,
Shit, I'll fly there right now for that offer.
everything. I mean, they even have,
I'll go
they even
collect.
have that if you know what I mean. Now, I'm not saying this is for all the migrants. I'm talking about these are the ones that haven't, you know what I mean, like they haven't completed everything yet to actually be a citizen. But you could actually be a law enforcement officer without being an actual citizen.
No way. What?
Seen that shit too? Yeah.
No, that is something that I mean, dude, there's no way. Just even the thought of them getting paid in the first place is crazy enough. And like whether you're getting healthcare or food, holy crap, man. It just gets worse and worse. Dude, how many layers does this have? You know? Like this is crazy.
Well, see, now this is the good part to this show because, like I said, you may see this video here, and you may see this video here a couple days later or whatever.
Mhm.
But what we do here is that we take the whole situation, start it from here, and then break it down into parts.
Right.
You get the whole understanding as to what's going on here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's true. It's not time. It's not play by play here at the Diamond Effect. It is like researched, all taken in, accounts, angles, all that. Every which way. It's basically a chessboard that has already been figured out.
Yeah. So what because like once you start watching the news and stuff like that, everything becomes a blame game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if you steady pointing fingers, you never figure out who's doing what because everybody's just sitting there just pointing fingers.
Right.
When you start breaking it down into the parts and the reason why, the reason why this one is acting this way as opposed to, okay, this is going on here. Why is that going on? Okay, because of this. Okay, now this is going on. Why is this going on? You know what I mean? Why is, the FBI director talking about, that everything is red light? Okay, because this is going on. This is going on because of the border thing here, which in turn is bringing this people here. And then now you got all these people here, you can't do nothing with them. So then you turn around and you go to Congress, and Congress gives you this. And then you take this and you split it up so everybody can get money over here and everybody can be taken care of here. So you got a whole plethora of information that's coming at the same time. But you need it that way because most people, when you sit there looking at this, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. You really ain't paying attention to it. You listen like, oh shit, they down there fucking up, huh? All right. And go on about your business. You know what I mean? Not realizing what's going on here.
Sure.
Yeah. Because that right there is a powder keg.
Totally.
Somebody say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. And like I had some people that had contacted me that live in Texas that was talking about there were vigilante groups that was down there with automatic rifles and stuff like that was walking the border, different stuff. You know what I mean? So could this be a powder keg? Now, like I said, you got all those truck drivers coming too, and they keep saying that this is going to be a peaceful demonstration, which sure, You have a right to assembly. You know what I mean? It ain't no different than when Antifa and BLM did their thing. I mean, you can have your assembly, but what you dealing with here is a bunch of mad motherfuckers because of what's going on, and quote patriots that they're going to defend their country. And actually, they put out notices calling for every true blue American that was ex-military or whatever, everybody needed to come to Texas. You know what I mean? It can be bad. You know what I mean? Like, this could really be some rough shit, because it's like, it's right there. It's right there ready to happen.
No,
You know
we're
what I
at
mean?
boiling point. Boiling point, 1000%.
Right. I mean, everybody's mad. Now, personally, should they just lock the border down altogether? Sure. And let them in a little bit at a time.
That's the way it was supposed to be done that way, but
right. They can be properly vetted, identified, processed. You know what I mean? That's one thing. Don't just open the floodgates and just let everybody come running through. That don't make sense. But then here's another question. Because sometimes I just be thinking about crazy shit sometimes, but this one actually made sense. So we always talking about the southern border, right? And everybody coming from Mexico is shooting up. Why come we don't have a border in Canada, going across Canada?
Right.
Do you think we can go to Canada and just come down?
Mhm.
What's actually stopping them? Nothing.
Right. They don't. There is nothing really. I mean, there's like a couple of checkpoints with gates that go up like this, and that's about it.
Yeah, but that's just on like major.
On the major parts.
Major highways. I mean, you have a lot of woods in between there. You know what I mean? You could easily just go through the woods.
You could.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a cold trek though. It'll be colder, but yeah, you could do it.
But shit, if you got one that flew from China to his way up, I'm pretty sure they can walk around with some motherfucking snow boots, get their ass on the other side. I mean, it can definitely happen. I don't know. I just always wondered that. Like, why come we never had an actual border north? Like, north was okay, but everybody from south, no, you can't come. You know what I
Probably
mean?
because of population. If I had to guess, if I had to totally make a guess, I would guess population merely. And you got Canada, that's probably a richer country than Mexico, right? So that naturally people want to go to a better place. So I think that's probably why. But that's just me, off the game right here, right now type thing. But yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't even mind Mexicans going into Texas. Well, fuck, they belong to Mexico anyway.
Texas, yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you want to come to Texas, all right, fine, come to Texas. I don't give a shit about you coming to Texas. But you got all these other states like Florida. Now they coming over here. What did DeSantis do? Put their asses on the bus and ship their asses up north. Exactly what they did. When they hit Miami, rounded them up, shipped them up out of there. Now, here's another question you should ask. Now, they letting all these people come in from Mexico, right? They're coming in through the southern border. What about back in the summer? Did you see there was a couple ships that they stopped, brought them in to the States, of all them Haitian, had all those Haitians, they had them all sitting out. I think this was Miami, and then it was somewhere else. I'm not quite sure.
Not surprised.
It was a couple hundred of them that came in on this boat. They were just hanging off this boat. They got here and they put them all in this one area, like a staging area. Put them all in the staging area, got them all there. And the first chance they got, they shipped their asses right back to Haiti.
Damn.
With the witness. Straight
Imagine doing that. Imagine doing that whole trek and being sent right back to where you started.
Did it a couple times. They didn't process them and let them come on through. They didn't do none of that. They put them in a waiting station, got their information, shipped their asses back. So why ain't you doing that over there? You did it to these. Why ain't you doing it over there? You know what I mean? Oh, so is it that, okay, I should have went a couple, maybe I should have changed my direction on this ship. I should have went this way. I could have got in. But if I came this way, you're going to turn around and send me back.
Right.
I mean, why didn't you process those people? Now, you also got to realize that in Haiti's going through a war right now. You know what I mean? The actual officials, the actual government of Haiti.
I didn't know this.
It's not in control of Haiti. The gangs are in control of Haiti. That's why they all trying to get the fuck away from over there.
It doesn't surprise me. I know it's very violent right now. I didn't know it was like that.
Yeah, they're killing left and right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those people aren't really what you call migrants. Those people was what you call refugees.
Yeah.
Because leaving a war-torn country, go somewhere else. Why would you turn them around and send them back to face the same dangers that they've been facing, but you let everybody else come through the other side with no problem?
Mm-hmm. That's the part that is the problem. Yep.
You
gotta stay consistent with this. If they're gonna stick with one, it can't be. This is why. Could you imagine if state by state were led by their own borders, right? They had their own way of thinking, their own, in which they do. But imagine if there was border crossings everywhere. Its own state had its own border patrol and its own type of legislation. Could you imagine the chaos we would have? I mean, under one rule right now, we just have total, eruption and corruption. So imagine if there were multiple lines. Holy crap!
Oh yeah. There was a warning that the FBI put out a little bit ago. That was I watched it a couple of times because I wanted to. It really caught my attention. Matter of fact, let me see if I have this because I think that's
You
something.
probably do. You probably do.
Let me see here. I think I may have it.
In the news at 9, Canada has a whole bunch of people finding out winter woods aren't fun and dangerous. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I got it here. Let me play
Maple
this.
syrup gang don't play that illegal immigration stuff. Steve, bro, you're funny as hell.
You know what? I was watching this interview today before we play this. I was watching an interview today. They had a government official from Poland. And you got all the stuff going on with Ukraine, you got all those refugees or whatever, they go into these other countries. And they asked him, how many refugees have y'all taken? He said, none. So they're like, what you mean none? You ain't nobody came here? He said, oh, they came here, but we ain't take them.
Yeah.
We sent them back.
Yeah.
And he was like, why? And he was like, because, we take care of our own. We ain't taking care of nobody else. So when they came here, we sent them back. You know what I mean?
So this is some backward shit that's going on, really. This is crazy.
Yeah. So Poland didn't take nobody. Like they come running over and they turn their head, nope.
Yep.
Going back where he came
They ain't playing around over there. They ain't playing.
No. And they didn't take nobody. Like I said, he didn't say, well, we took a small group. He said none.
Nothing. Nobody.
Right.
That's
Let
crazy.
me
Yep.
let me hit this spot right quick.
Right, this is breaking this hour. Terror threats against the United States reach an all-time high.
I've never seen a time where so many of the threats are all elevated, all at exactly the same time.
He is not prone to dramatic talk. In fact, the opposite. So if he is underscoring something, it is a real threat.
A heightened level like we have never seen.
Breaking news coming out in the past 24 hours as FBI Director Wray warns of an unprecedented terrorist threat to the United States. He sees blinking red lights everywhere, and he's also urging the U.S. to take precaution for faith-based communities amid anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage and articles coming out on this as the FBI director says terror threats elevated to an all-time high since October 7th, blinking red lights everywhere. And they're also saying that the FBI Director Wray is not somebody that typically issues these threats. Vocalizing this and very directly is very concerning, that we need to be on the watch with these threats that are being articulated by the FBI. And this comes as we had heard that they believe there are sleeper cells that are already here. I'm going to share with you some clips as they're saying they're coming across the border. They're already here, and we need to be on the lookout. And they're saying it has never been this high. Not even since 9/11 has the threat of a terrorist attack on U.S. soil been this elevated. So I'm going to be sharing with you the latest information so that way you can see it for yourself. And again, these articles have come out in the past 24 hours. I'll link this in the description below and share with you the video footage so you can see the latest. And if you appreciate the updates, do me a quick favor before we dive in. Don't forget, smash that like button. Just takes a second. If you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not? Hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so. I've added a join button. You can click it, become a member, and all of these articles will then pop up in your YouTube feed so you can go right to them. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in, and let's start off with some video footage of what unfolded yesterday with FBI Director Wray and this new chilling warning about threats against the United States.
All right, this is breaking this hour. Terror threats against the United States reach an all-time high since the terror attack by Hamas terrorists against Israel on October 7th. A warning now from the FBI Director Christopher Wray just a short time ago in a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing.
What I would say that is unique about the environment that we're in right now in my career is that while there may have been times over the years where individual threats could have been higher here or there than where they might be right now, I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated all at exactly the same time. That's what makes this environment that we're in now so fraught, and why funding our men and women who are working shoulder to shoulder with state and local law enforcement and other partners every day makes it even more important, not less.
So, blinking red lights analogy about 9/11, all the lights were blinking red before 9/11. Apparently, obviously, all of us missed it. Would you say that there's multiple blinking red lights out there?
I see blinking lights everywhere I turn.
Okay, all right. Can't say any better than that.
Blinking lights everywhere he turns for trouble, a heightened level like we have never seen. You have worked inside the White House, formerly with President Trump. You know what should be happening next in all of this. Give us a picture when you get that message from inside the White House.
Well, one of the things I would do, the very first thing I would do, was I'd be creating a whole page in my binder calling the FBI director, calling all of those around him, his comms team, and making sure that you communicate this to the American people. And we just heard Wray do that. But we should be hearing about this from the White House podium, because with a lot of these things, it's see something, say something. And a lone wolf terrorist can cause a lot of destruction. Just underscoring one point, Carrie Kupek, former colleague of mine in the Trump administration who was at DOJ, who worked with Wray hand in hand, he is not prone to dramatic talk. In fact, the opposite. So if he is underscoring something, it is a real threat. So if he is saying this, he's saying something.
Oh, Kevin.
Well, and to Kaylee's point, I think, you know, in the wake of 9/11, it was a wake-up call for all of us to stay vigilant, that it's American security relies on all of us to see something, say something. It's not just the 38,000 men and women that make up the FBI that can disrupt these kind of attacks or potential attacks. And we need the good Samaritans, the citizens of this country, to come forward and talk to law enforcement when it involves a family member or a friend that is going down this road. Because after October 7th, to your point, we're likely to see more of those copycat kind of attacks because they inspire people.
Look, I mean, the head of the FBI just told us that he sees red flashing lights about those types of situations all around. When asked, well, do you see one in the, in the vicinity?
And I think what this underscores as well is that the constellation of vulnerability is quite broader than when you look at it in silos of, okay, what's happening on 6th Avenue, what's happening on the street, who might be plotting something in their garage. Meaning specifically that the vulnerability of the southern border and the fact that how closely that ties in with our weaknesses and our open doors is quite real. We know that in the month of October, after the terrorist attacks against Israel, we had 4 Iranians coming across the border. They're considered special interest aliens because the United States considers Iran a state sponsor of terror. We've seen more Chinese illegal immigrants flowing over the southern border. this fiscal year alone than we did in the 10 years prior. And the numbers have skyrocketed from countries where we have plainly and globally stated we have suspicions about motives for coming here illegally. So when you dovetail that in with this blinking light comments by Director Wray, I can't help but hope that Congress, and Lou as well, or in light of the fact that just 2 months ago they said
Heavy.
Right. So they know they're here. They know they're here.
Right.
You know,
They have to know. There's no way that they don't. You know, there's no going, oh, I didn't know anymore. No.
right. You know what I mean? So of course, you know, now you got to go through the whole rigmarole where now you gotta try to find where these cells are. And you know they scattered out all over.
Right.
Now, the biggest thing that I would think with that is do the people of the U.S. not now? I know a lot of us. You know what I mean? We know like, okay, you pull some bullshit like that, we gonna come blazing. Got you on that. You know what I mean? And you know that the U.S. per capita has more guns than anybody in the world. You know what I mean? So if you pull some shit like that, you know hell gonna come with you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
We got more firearms than citizens here. So
Right. But you also know a lot of these ain't running around with no damn guns because you got these bomb throwing motherfuckers running around
Right.
here to be trying to blow up buildings and all
and
kinds
they
of
don't
shit.
care.
Right.
Right.
They don't give a fuck. They just walk in there with a damn bomb, just blow up some shit. They ain't trying to shoot nothing. You know what I mean? And they gonna blow themselves up with the shit because they already know what's gonna happen to them if they live. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're still gonna walk in there and just like, all right, fuck it, boom. You know
It's
what I
that
mean?
old school kamikaze.
Right. You know, I think the U.S. as a whole has laxed in their policy of keeping America safe.
Right.
You know, as a
It
whole.
definitely happened.
And I'm not saying that that's a Republican Democrat thing. I'm
It's
talking about
not.
as a whole. They
Yes.
all have done it. Because just because you know we haven't taken attacks like that, other than like you say, you got 9/11, and people been throwing warnings out ever since 9/11 that you know you got to look out for this, look out for that, because you know this may happen, especially around the holiday seasons. And remember that one year they was telling people like right around the Super Bowl, somebody said they were going to blow up the stadium and all kind of different stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you still have to pay attention. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the big thing now because we tend to be very lax. We walk by something and not even pay attention.
Yeah, no, distracted on our phones, don't care. That means lax. Lackadaisical, not caring, don't care where you're going in front of you. If you run into somebody, it is what it is. Don't even know what's happening. The streets going on. People could be stabbing each other over there. You wouldn't know.
Right.
Crazy.
You ain't paying attention. Or you see a bunch of people running this way and your ass turn around and run that way to see what the hell going on, and then your ass get blowed up. You know what I mean? Because you being nosy. You know, with
Yeah.
everybody else that way, then obviously that should tell your ass turn around and go that way too. But no, you do have some that would go that run right into the shit.
Yep.
You know? But I think being the fact of what all's going on right now, all of us need to be more aware of your surroundings.
Facts.
Pay more
Big
attention
facts.
to what's going on. You know what I mean? Actually, when you sitting in different places, look around. You know what I mean, and get you a visual of who all is in this room. You know, like I know, like when I go to like a restaurant or something like that, I don't sit with my back towards.
Yep. I'm the same way.
I gotta scan. I gotta see who's where. You know what I mean? Just in case I gotta do something, I know who's.
I need to know where the exits are. I need to know who is around me. If I'm inside, of course I'm going to know who's around me.
Right.
Oh, did you see that guy over there? Yes, I'm way long ago, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You gotta start paying attention to this, man, because you know it's going to be. The thing is, it's not if something's gonna happen.
Hmm.
It's when.
Absolutely. You put 8 million people, there's a win.
Right. Right. It's something is gonna fucking happen. I mean, we got to be more. We got to be Got to be more proactive. As you know, that don't mean that everybody gonna turn into a country full of Karens. Not saying that. I'm saying pay attention. You see
Simple.
something that don't make sense. Usually don't. You know what I mean? If you see something that looks odd, pay attention to what it is. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because you may see something and may be able to stop something all because you paid attention.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of stuff happens these days simply because you're not paying attention.
Yep. And that's America's finest move, is being able to keep every one of you guys distracted with some bullshit.
Right.
With some bullshit, they sweep it over, and then the real problem is like 4 layers underneath. You know, it's hidden. It's what they like to do.
Yeah, this one here, like I said, we brought this one up simply because number one, it's ringing in people's ears right now, but they wasn't telling everything. It was like they were
Right.
just telling bits and pieces. You know, like they tell you this to kind of make you think this, and then you watch something else, and you be like, well, hold on, that ain't what they said. But
Right.
hold on, you know what I mean? So
Right. Mhm.
therefore, hold on a second. Let's see what else this is going to be. You know what I mean? So we gotta this one right here. I think we're gonna keep an eye on, and you know what I mean. And even with the other shows that we do, as
Absolutely.
we'll still chime in and be like, okay, this is some other stuff that was added on to this that we
Right.
didn't.
We can't run 10 years straight, not, as if we had the predicament or predictions and all that, as if, you know what I mean? No. We can only report up to this point.
Right.
That's it.
Right. You know what I mean? So hopefully they get something together on this, but from our angle and how we looking at it, it's not gonna be no easy thing. It's gonna be a whole bunch of political hoopla, but you got all these people that's out there in these trucks, in these groups that's out there. It's not gonna be the government that's gonna actually do something. It's gonna be one of those people.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So you have to watch them. You know what I mean? Because they call themselves trying to defend, and you may end up in the crossfire as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't martial law,
Right.
you know, and we can't be walking around like this is Tombstone, running around trying to shoot people and all that stuff. I
We
mean,
might bring it to martial's law though, if it's pushed hard enough.
that's kind of
Never
what it's
know.
going. Man, I mean, that's a whole
That's a whole nother level.
yeah, that's a whole level of fucked up that you don't want.
People don't want to know. Right.
Right. So we're gonna keep everybody posted on it as it goes through. You know what I mean? Like I said, hopefully it's not escalate to be as bad as we think it's gonna be. You know what I mean? So we can pray for that. But as I say, as it comes through, then we'll keep you posted on the group chat. We'll do a little 5-minute, 10-minute thing on there if need be to keep you posted as to what's going on with this. So that way that keeps you in the loop of what's going on.
Right. Yep. And if anything big occurs, of course, we're going to report it on the channel.
Right. Absolutely. So we're gonna go ahead and try to narrow this down. But Mike, why don't you tell them about what happened to you the other day at that award ceremony?
Oh man, the National Social Media Awards, man. I was extremely blessed and honored to be invited to the the red carpet. I've been to the gold carpet before. I've never been to the red carpet. Went to the red carpet for the actual National Social Media Awards, and being able to actually not just attend, but be able to speak on behalf of a television company called Easyway TV, and was able to be on the red carpet and on stage, being able to talk about multiple things, whether it's my own adversities that I deal with and my own channel, YouTube, all that stuff. But at the same time, I am now a podcast director for Easyway TV. So now we've totally integrated where I didn't think that was even going to happen. You know what I mean? Like this was a total thing that I got super blessed on and I take very seriously. And being able to attend such events like this, where I'm literally rubbing up with, elbow to elbow with these people that are A-listers, like celeb, like not just a micro or macro influencer. You know what I mean? Like these are mega influencers. So it was very, very. I felt totally out of place. I was like, dude, like I'm the low man on the totem pole here. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm not, but hey, everyone came up to me and was like stoked on my story and stuff and wanted to hang out and chat. I'm like, dude, that's incredible to me that these people even care about what I've got going on. So it was huge. It was a big blessing, man. I've never got to speak on a red carpet, let alone go to one. So it was really cool, man. Shout out to Easy Way for that. Double for you.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Like I said, before we go, I want to thank everybody that's been tuning in on this show. Now, I don't know whether you realize this or not, but the YouTube channel, we've been talking about, we need everybody to go from for the Facebook group page, come over, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, whether you're on Facebook or the YouTube channel, hit that like button because that's what helps us. That's what keeps the show on the algorithm. And actually, that's what happened last week. Show hit the algorithm, kept going, which brought up everything else, and the subscriptions jumped up through the sun.
Yep.
So we went from what was it like 250, 260?
Something like that. Yeah.
That was on there. And I think now we're like over 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I don't know how it was absolutely amazing to watch from behind the scenes, watching it all, like the algorithm pick it up and watching it just go and just start ticking as it goes. It's very interesting when a video flies and when it does.
Right. It's crazy. Like we was looking at it on Saturday, like when it first picked up on Saturday, just watching it and just watching the numbers. Doom, 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 doom. Like, wow.
Just catches.
Really? You know what I mean? And so today, I don't know exactly where we're at right now, but I know we're over 2K.
Yeah. I mean, my most viral video was, let's see. My most viral video was 1.3. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know where I was going with that, but forget it. But nonetheless, it's crazy. Like, what I was getting at is my most viral video got like 1.3 million views. When I put it up the first 5 days or something like that, I only had like 500 views, like nothing. And I thought it was a dead video. And then what happened was, and I just left it up there. I didn't care. And then 5 days later, after the upload, for some reason, it just hit the algorithm and boom, just magically, like in 2 days, 1.3 million. Like, whoa, that's crazy.
Right. It's a bunch of those shorts, a lot of those shorts and all that stuff just like picked up at the same time.
Yep.
And it hit. So like I said,
that was another one, Steve. Yep.
Right. So all you ones that went over, appreciate it. All you ones that sharing it with your friends. I've had a couple people that told me that they had went and put an invite to everybody on their friends list to come on. You know what I mean? And right, like that's straight love right there.
Yeah, that's all love. You get someone to share you once, that's love, like being able to send it to like all their friends in their list, dude, that's crazy. That's love.
Right. So they, so I gotta hand it to you, these ones that's on here right now, they really supporting this show. They want to see it go somewhere and they putting it out there, you know what I mean? So
that's right. I mean, just look at some of the stuff that's going on right now.
Right. There is one. Miss Dana, I had a pleasure of talking to her earlier. I'm gonna have you one of these done and sent to you. She was one of the ones that I was talking about that got a hold of me and was like, I called all my people and I sent invites to everybody on my friends list and told everybody to do it. And then text me back later on and was like, I talked to such and such number of people and they all came through and they all hit the button. You know what I mean?
Wow,
So
that's love.
right, I mean, she was out there like a trooper. And the thing
For real.
is, I've never met this woman. You know what I mean? But I appreciate it fully.
Hell
What-
yeah. Absolutely. We can't do this shit without you guys. It's like honest.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have one of these made for you, and I'm gonna have it sent to you just as my appreciation to you to thank you for doing what you're doing. And like I said, we're gonna have a couple little raffles here and there. Matter of fact, we can probably have one next week. We got some stuff. I mean, we got plenty of stuff. We're gonna
There's lots.
right. So I think next week probably what we'll do is I'll put it out now. So if you have not subscribed, subscribe. Leave a message in the comment under this show, or you can go through. Let me put my banner up. Take that down there. Send me a message and let me know that you hit that subscribe button. And we will put you on the wheel. And whoever wins next week, we will basically give you a choice. Give you a choice pick. You can pick a tumbler, you can pick a t-shirt,
Oh man.
a flask, whatever we have, we'll let you get a choice of what you want. So like I said, go on. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that subscribe button. Pick out one of these. I don't care where you send it, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever. Just let me know that you've done it. I'll put your name down. Next week when we do the next show, at the end of the show, we'll do the running. And like I said, whoever wins, you'll get a pick. So
Man, dope. Hell yeah. That's what's up, man. That's a lot of love. That's a lot of love there. And obviously we're gonna try our best to give that back to you guys always every week with every episode, man.
yeah. Next week, I'm gonna tell you, next week is gonna be a good show. And yes, I already know what we're gonna talk about next
Bring
week.
it up if you'd like.
I had the pleasure of talking to a gentleman from Atlanta, Georgia. Actually in the country, outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia. This gentleman has been fighting the court system, a corrupt court system, for the past 2 years. Let me tell you what happened. This gentleman here had a animal refuge. African American, 28 years old, farmer, had a large plot of land that he had all these exotic animals there, like refuge, had like water buffaloes and
Damn.
llamas and alpacas and albino kangaroos and all
Yeah,
man.
you outdoing every zoo in America. You going all out.
Yes, he's on TikTok. This guy has like well over 100 and some thousand followers on it, like 2-3 million views on this stuff because he posts all the pictures of all these videos of all these animals, and you can tell that he spends a lot of time with these animals because these animals just love on him. It's crazy how these big huge animals just love on this dude like that. Well, he had this property under his business, and some other people realized that people that had helped him get the business. Now they're not actual shareholders or anything like that. They helped him get the land. Okay, the business is his. They helped him get the land. The actual land and everything is under the business, so it's his, lock, stock, and barrel. They realized after they bought the land and a couple of years that went by that land is actually worth millions. So they've done everything humanly possible to run this man off his property.
Oh man.
They went to his house and beat him. They banged up his cars. They cut his brake lines in his cars. They killed his
Oh,
animals.
shit.
They actually went and while he was gone, they actually went and shacked up in his house and then called the cops and said that they were the ones that lived there. And being that the fact that this little outskirt town, they all in cahoots with each other, they filed a restraining order on this man so he couldn't even come back on his own property, his house.
Oh
his
my
land.
God.
And he's been going through a bunch of different stuff. He's went to Superior Court. He's had marches. He's done all kind of stuff where the actual Superior Court has ruled for him to be able to reclaim his land. But the local judges will not let him go back on his property.
Oh my God.
You know, so he has numerous people that's going along with him. You got Justice League United. You have Black Lives Matter, NAACP, Frank Hammond Gun Club. You have all these different groups that's behind him trying to get this man justice, because he's been fighting for 2 years to get his land back. And he has, man, some of the videos that he sent me, he videos everything.
Yeah.
The beatings that he took are videoed.
Oh,
The
wow.
abuse that he took from these people are videoed. Tearing up his trucks and everything else, all this stuff is videoed. You know what I mean? He even had a video where these people was like standing 5 and 6 feet away from him and was like, oh, you hit me, and called the cops trying to get this man arrested because they're trying to get him to go to jail so they could take his land. You know what I mean? This man taking beatings and everything else to save his land. You know, so when he called me and talked about this, and he's told me about all the different people that's behind him, that's trying to help him on this, but he wants his story told. He wants it out.
Right.
You know, so why not?
Absolutely. Let's bring the news like that. Absolutely. Bring him in.
And so next week he's going to be here.
That's going to be an interesting ass topic.
Man, I'm telling you, when you watch these videos, I'm telling you, it's horrible to think that this is the stuff that people do to take something that don't even belong to you. You know what I mean? This is this man's property. I mean, like, you literally went through, you killed this man's animals. You had his cows slaughtered and you know what I mean? They did man. It goes on and on and on. I don't want to tell it all, man, but it went on and on and on. But yeah, so he's gonna be on here next week. And we got some other people that we've been talking to, calling, stuff like that. So we're trying to get these shows scheduled out weeks at a time. Right. So maybe it's easier, for everybody.
Show dates, man.
Right.
Show dates.
Like I said, so if you ones that's listening, y'all got some ideas, you got somebody that you want me to talk to, try to get them on here, talk to, whatever the story is, just see the information right there. Take it down. Let me know. There was a guy that sent me something last week, and I did check into that, and we are going to do a show about that too. Because what you told me after I started looking into it, and was like, oh boy, it's
man. Anytime Archbishop starts to dig, that's when stuff starts arising. It starts surfacing.
Yeah, man, it's a whole lot to that one. Whole lot to that one.
Oh man.
And it would take a lot of stuff that you put it like this. That story there, everything that you were told about that particular subject,
right?
You will be wrong. It was a big, huge lie. A big, huge lie. But we're going to talk about that on down the road, because I still got to do some more stuff with that one. But
man, what a heavy topic all the way around for today, and even for leading up for next week too. So you guys get to sit with some shit right now. They just threw out some gnarly stuff that I wasn't completely ready for. So, hey, man.
Every week, like I said, we're going to dig it up. We're going to put it out there.
Yep. Put out the facts.
They ain't gonna, they ain't gonna like us before too long.
Oh, I already know. The last 2 shows we did, I got demonetized on both of them. It's okay. I don't care.
Really? Did you?
Yeah. And I'm going to get demonetized on this one because we talked about the government. Of course. It's okay. But it's only on the particular video. It's not on the whole channel. You know what I mean? So I already know how this game works. So it doesn't matter to me. I'm here to have a good time with you and everybody in here and put on a wonderful show for everyone.
Yes. Well, fortunately, I'm not monetized yet, so I can say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Yep. Yep.
And we're gonna get it out. So, actually, I don't even care if you get monetized or not. That means I can say what I want to say. So it is what it is. But like I said, we're gonna jump up off here. 7 days. We'll be back.
Yes, sir.
Peace, love, and hair grease. And we'll get with you next week.
That's right. Much love and respect to everyone. Appreciate you guys for having us. We'll see you on the next one.